Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 3 p.m. here in New Vienna, Iowa. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Wednesday, November 18th, 2020. How are you guys doing today? It is a beautiful day here in Iowa, and we had a little bit of a switch up in terms of our family normal schedule. It's conference day for Chicago Public Schools, and so I do have to kind of leave a little bit early, or at least on time today, to make sure we can make it to the student teacher conference. But because it's conference day, my daughter didn't have school, so we went out for a hike today up in Pikes Peak State Park, and we had a really good time. It's a little bit windy out, but we were in the trails, we were in the woods, and we had lots of shelter from the wind. So a really nice day. How did you guys do today? Hopefully you guys had some nice weather. Before I go to who's here in the live stream, I want to take a minute to say hi to everyone listening to this in podcast form. Hope you guys are having a good run. And for everyone watching this after the fact, but on YouTube, welcome. Glad to see you guys. Let's see, who do we have here? We got Daryl Runs saying greetings, everyone. Awesome. Frank says, has anyone tried a Salomon road shoe ever? Awesome. I have. I tried the Predict RA, which is a road shoe. Yeah, it is a road shoe. It's the road shoe that they released right around the time that, I forget his name, but he's run across the U.S. before, but he ran in the Salomon Predict RA when he did the every single street in San Francisco, that shoe. So I ran in that. That's the only road shoe that I've run in. But I think that probably maybe was not the best shoe for me to run in from them. But I don't know. Let's see what everyone else says. Daniel M says, hey, everybody. Christian is here, says, yo, what's going on? Awesome. Christian, good to see you again. Chris House says, Garmin update yesterday has erased Spotify and disabled music controls again. What? So is that something that goes away periodically and then comes back? That's bizarre. All right. David says, good to see you again, David. Says, happy hump day, everyone. Awesome. And Daniel says, I got an ad for ulcerative colitis medication that says now you can take your treatment in a different direction. Is that a suppository pun? Yeah, if it is, it's pretty brilliant. But I don't. Is that something that people with ulcerative colitis have to do? I didn't know. I don't know what ulcerative colitis is or what the treatments normally are. So I actually have no idea. All right. Luis Becerra is here. Good to see you again. And Innes is here as well. Says 5K around town with Pip tonight, around 21 minutes to keep the pace up a bit. Oh, that's speedy. That's fun. I'm sure the dog enjoyed letting things loose a little bit. Awesome. All right. Frank LaHoya got some Boston 9s in the mailbox. That's nice. Very good shoe. And Scott says, has anybody tried the Go-To device? I'm not familiar with what that is. All right. Lewis says the Ultra Escalante 2.0 for $50 and the fuel cell rubber for $75. Do I need to get the Ultras half size down? For me, I went with the same size for the Escalante 2.0, and I thought it was great. I really enjoyed the fit. So I would say no, but I don't know. Other people might have some different opinions on it. I thought it fit true to size. All right. Scotty says 21 minutes is flying for a 5K. It is. That's fast. Jody says, good day, everyone. What's going on, Jody? And Leona Wong's here. And she says about Salomon. She has the Salomon Outline trail running shoes. Gore-Tex, nice. I got them for walking around on rainy days and love them. I've run in them as well for short distances in Tahoe/Chicago. Cool. Very cool. Awesome. Mark Chancoco is here. Says, what's up, Team Kofuzi? What's going on, everybody? Chris McLean is here as well. Says, yo, and a wave. I love that wave emoji. Awesome. Daniel says, I think all of us are slowly changing our photos to dogs, and I'm here for it. That's funny. Very funny. I mean, dog photos? Can't go wrong with a dog photo. All right. Let's see. Steve says, evening all, no run tonight. Had to do the week's grocery haul. My wife normally does it, but it's isolating for 10 days. Ooh, due to a track and trace notification. Okay. And I use the Infinity React for the React Infinity for the task. That's a good grocery getting shoe. But hopefully it turns out okay for your wife. And that all it is a 10-day ISO, and then that's it. You know, I'm wishing you the best. Thinking about you, Steve. Sorry to hear that happened. All right. Tom McNamara says, what do you miss most from the before times? Miss most? I mean, the easy answer is races, right? Because races were fun. They were great to train for. They were great to put on the calendar, make your, I mean, it kind of drove everything, right? In terms of runners. But I will say of the not like obvious answers of missing most of the before times of like, seeing family and getting to see other friends, like the things about my normal routine that I missed the most from my before times is my run commute, like my afternoon run home. I really enjoyed that run. That was a good one. Because if I could find a way to leave work like an extra 20 or 30 minutes early, then I can take like an extra long route home. And that just felt like a total win. I mean, not to say that I miss my run commute more than I miss, having dinner with friends or going on a date night with my wife kind of thing. That's certainly not the case. But of like the little things that I miss right now, the run commute is what I miss. All right. Scott says, running with a buff on face, make it challenge to breathe with just mouth. Yeah, it does. I mean, I've run with buffs before for years, in the winter time. And generally it doesn't bother me too much on an easy run, even when it's really cold out. I appreciate how the buff keeps the warm air around your face, certainly. But when you're doing like tempo intervals or threshold repeats, then I usually pull it down. Then the difficult part becomes when you have it down and there was moisture in there, then it freezes when it's down here on your neck. And then when you're done with your rep and you're like on your cool down and you try to pull it back up, it's all like frozen and jagged and like not soft. That part that's a whole different weirdness to get used to as well. And then eventually your face thaws it out and then it's just like warm and kind of wet. So it's not super pleasant, but when you just kind of come to the territory of winter running, I guess. But yeah, it does. It takes some getting used to. Shannon says, hey guys, 3:03, basically on time. Awesome. Cool. Good to see you, Shannon. And Renz Peter says, what Hoka road shoe would you recommend for all uses, tempo/long run? I would say either the Clifton or the Rincon. The Rincon is more of the speed shoe, but I feel like it's a speed shoe that can definitely be used as an all-arounder. It's not as soft as the Clifton, so you're losing out on a little bit of that extra cushion. But I'd rather have the Rincon for a tempo than the Clifton by a long shot. And I'd rather have the Clifton than the Rincon on like an easy long run by like not as long, the gap isn't as different. So I think that's where I prefer the Rincon. But, I have an affinity for like those long fast day shoes. So maybe that's kind of making me biased a little bit, but I like the Rincon and the Clifton 7 of the ones that I've tried. All right. As far as Ines says, I'm missing my daughter I think going back to the before times, I'm missing my daughter being able to just call in. Hopefully we can get back to 2 whole households mixing in soon. Yeah. I mean, with the holidays in the US coming up here for Thanksgiving, it's definitely something that's on a lot of people's minds. And, it's bringing to a head, like the differences in an approach within like large extended families. And so, it's getting intense now. And I hope that we can get back to it soon. But, it goes back to my mother-in-law and I were having this conversation now just today. But it's also something that I've said before. It's like, now with these vaccines like on the horizon, it's like, does this make it so that way you're like, all right, well, if I get it now, I get it, whatever, but there's to be a vaccine soon. So hopefully like I can just press my luck until then. Or, you'd feel bad if you died. One would feel bad if one died, obviously. But like, would it make it all the more senseless if you died like before, like while there was a vaccine, but you were waiting to get it, that kind of thing. So it's like, yes, it's really hard to not be able to mix households. We've got our cousins that live down the street, but soon, hopefully, we will be able to do that again, All right. We got Daksh Desai says, which Saucony shoes do you recommend for interval, mid, and long runs? So for I think the Saucony lineup has it broken down nicely. For your interval shoe, let's go right here. Interval shoe, I would go with the Kinvara. The mid shoe, I would go with the Ride. And then for the long run, I would go for the Triumph. So, or the Freedom also is good. The Freedom, I think, could fit in probably, depending on the runner, 2 out of these 3 categories too. The Freedom is kind of a weird shoe to me. I didn't quite understand it. But it's probably the only shoe that's out there that I would say is similar to the Asics Nova Blast. And so it was peculiar. I had a hard time figuring it out. But I think that Kinvara, Ride, Triumph is the way it goes. Lakai Perez says, what's your daily running shoe? Right now, the daily trainer that I'm running in most is the Reebok Float Ride Grow. It is a sustainable version of the Reebok Forever Float Ride Energy 2. I think that's what the full name of that shoe is. But I've been really enjoying it. That Float Ride, what is it? Yeah, is that the foam's called Float Ride, or is it? I forget what the name of the foam actually is. It's really nice. It's really nice. It's a bit on the firm side, but I've just really been enjoying running in that. My kind of like daily trail shoe for right now is the New Balance Fresh Foam More Trail, which is just a lot of fun to run. It's like a max cushion shoe. So I've been enjoying that one as well. And then for workouts, I've been rotating between a variety of different carbon plated shoes. So I've been having a lot of fun lately with shoes. All right. Let's see. We got where's Remy? Some guys a lot of you are responding to Remy. Yeah. All right. Let's go to Gujo. Gujo says, do you think 175 pounds is too heavy for a Boston 9? I don't think so. But I wouldn't use it. Yeah. And you're saying as a daily trainer, I would say maybe. I don't think it would be. I don't think it would be. But also, even for me, I'm about a 145. I don't love the Boston 9 as a daily trainer for me either. I could use it that way. It's kind of like the Rincon we were talking about earlier. I feel like it could go that way, but for like a long run, an easy long run, I probably wouldn't want it. I would want it for a faster long run or something that's got a little bit more intensity to it. So that's kind of how I would use it. I might look at, the Ultra Boost 20 was actually pretty good this year. So at 175, the Ultra Boost 20 would probably feel a little bit heavy as a daily trainer, but it's definitely usable in that situation. But I think that also what was the shoe that was in between the Boston last year and the Ultra Boost? Was it like the Sense something Pure Boost? No, I forget what it was. Solar Boost. The Solar Boost. I don't think, was there a Solar Boost 20 this year? I remember there was a Solar Boost 19. But the Ultra Boost 20 is a lot like the Solar Boost 20. The Solar Boost 19, I think, was a little bit lighter. So that might be another option as well if you're looking to stick with Adidas. Ben Y says, have you seen the upcoming Craft carbon plated shoe? I have. It's phenomenally beautiful. It's going to come out in a zebra print. I forget what they called it. It was something weird like Prestige Triumph or something weird, like two like weird words put together for the name of the zebra print colorway, but it is going to come out in the zebra colorway, or like the stealth, like you can't tell what it is. It'll be hard to figure it out from pictures what the shoe is actually doing, kind of thing. The thing that they put on cars when they want it to go around, like Nürburgring, how do you say that? I don't know. I never could say it right. But like that kind of stuff, I love it. I feel like I want an entire race kit in zebra flage. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine if, here we go. If I could ever, I've been trying to get a YouTube relay team of some sort together for a long time to do like a Ragnar relay or something like that. Or I'm trying to figure out a way that we can get like a YouTuber heat of the Fifth Avenue Mile. And how awesome would it be if like in that, any of those events, like the team kit was like zebra flash? That would be so amazing. We got to figure out a way to get that done. Oh man. Gulshan Paul says, hi, everyone. What's going on, Gulshan? Good to see you again. All right. Let's scroll down a little bit. Where did that one go? I saw one up here that I wanted to get to. So J. Micro says Solar Glide. Yeah, good shoe. It's my daily. Yeah. There are a couple of variants of the Solar. So it's like Solar. There was a Solar Boost, right? Solar Boost, Solar Glide, and then Solar something else, I thought. I don't know. All right. Let's see, there's another comment that I wanted to get to up here. Oh, Tyler Eats says, SJD named the Endorphin Speed as a shoe of the year for him. Oh, man. I was going to name it as a shoe of the year, but I wasn't ready to do it early. But I guess I'm ready at this point. But now that he's done it, it kind of takes the punch out of it for me. But he's not wrong. He's definitely not wrong. Blaz Grabner says SL20. I mean, I might have to go with that just because I've been championing that shoe so much, and I have loved it, and like the value is really good. So maybe I'll do that one. But Ed Bud says, what's going on, Ed? He says the Speed lost its punch a bit after 100 miles. Still a great shoe, but mine squeaking like crazy now. That's interesting. I've heard a variety of reports on that shoe, and I thought because of the Power Run PB that was in there, I really thought it was going to last a lot longer. But some people are saying that like it's the cushioning died after like 150 miles or so. Other people are saying like the outsole, the rubber is like falling apart at an early point too. But other people are like, yeah, I got like 300 miles in mine and it was fine. So I've been hearing a variety of different results from it, which is always peculiar to me when there is that much variety. All right. Let's see. Where's another one? There was another one that I wanted to get to up here. Sorry about that. Scott says, what does this mean? How do you run it? 12 to 14 by 400 meters. I take that as meaning that you're going to do 400 meters 12 to 14 times. Unless there's something else to that. That's what I'm thinking that means. Why there would be that like vagueness as to 12 to 14 is a little bit confusing. So that's why I'm wondering if there isn't more to that. But what I would run is 14 by 400 meters. The most important thing that's missing from that is the intensity. How hard are you supposed to run that? And 2 is what is the rest interval in between that. So I think there must be something missing from there, or ideally there would be more information to that. All right. Yeah, let's see what else we got. Sean Marshall's here. Yeah, Sean, we're talking about yesterday. Sean was the one that told me about the gum soles on the Sauconys, and they do look amazing. Yeah, looks good. Yeah, Jody said, I just made Ed happy with the Reebok. Yeah, that Reebok, the Float Ride Grow, it's a good shoe. I enjoy it. And I think someone was asking me about this earlier. They were saying that Reebok was sold or getting sold or spun off by Adidas. And I had no idea about it. And of all people that I was able to hear a little bit more information about it was Unbox Therapy, Lou, whatever, I don't know his last name. But Unbox Therapy was talking about it in his like talk show thing. And he was saying that, for whatever reason, Reebok did really poorly, even though Adidas itself did pretty good during this year. And so that was interesting. And I feel like if that's the case, then that definitely puts a damper on the possibility that like Pulse Boost goes away and instead they bring over that like Float Ride foam to an Adidas shoe. Because like, can you imagine that shoe in like a Solar Boost instead of like a whole bunch of boost in there? I guess you wouldn't call it boost. You would call it Solar Ride, I guess, or something like that. I feel like that would be pretty good. I don't know if I don't want people messing with the Boston. I like the Boston formula. As much as people are like Boost is dead, I don't think so. I like Light Strike. But maybe like instead of Light Strike, if you put in Float Ride, would that be good? I don't know. But I'm curious about it. I'm sure somewhere in some testing lab somewhere, there's got to be a shoe that looks like that. I would love to be able to see it. But I'm not saying they need to change the Boston, but tinker with the Boston slowly, I would say. But maybe in the Adios, I don't know. I don't have as much affinity for the Adios. Mark says he loves the Float Ride Energy too. It's slowly becoming my favorite daily. Awesome. Cool. And I see the message from Ed asking me to check the Insta. I will. I've been really slow about checking my Insta messages. I've been getting a lot more lately, which is good and very flattering. But it gets to be a lot. It gets to be the point that sometimes I'm kind of like procrastinating opening up Instagram because I'm like, if I go there, it's usually a lot of fun. Not that answering like DMs isn't fun, but like sometimes it feels like not onerous, but I feel obligated to like respond to a lot of messages, and if I have a lot, it kind of like doesn't always feel great. It feels overwhelming sometimes. So that's kind of where I'm at mentally. But I'll get to you. I saw that you guys had sent me a message, I think yesterday. I apologize. All right. Danny J says, guess what, guys? Rock climbing hiatus has been concluded. I climbed twice this week. Thanks for running. I'm climbing fit again. Awesome. Well, that's cool. Super awesome. Glad to hear that. Great. My daughter, still, the gym where my daughter climbs at, I mean, not that we're going to go to Chicago right now, because everything's closing down in Chicago. They're under a, not a stay-at-home order, but a stay-at-home advisory. Basically, like, we don't want to order it, but if a lot of people don't voluntarily just stay home, we're going to have to order it. So that's kind of where Chicago's at. But the gym where my daughter normally climbs still does not, the climbing wall still isn't open. So she hasn't been able to climb in like 8 months now. It's a bummer for her, which I think is about as long as she's been climbing. So it's a long time. Roadrunner Reviews is here, says, hi, hope all is well. What's going on? Good to see you again. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see. Let's go down to the bottom. See what we got down there. Ben Y says, Reebok Run Fast 2 or SL20 for road plus track running. Yeah, I don't think I've ever tried the Run Fast 2, but I like the SL20. I've never had it on the track, but it certainly could handle itself there, I would say. Yeah, so that's where I would pick. Blas Grabner says, I can't get my cadence over 165. I'm just under 6 feet. Why? I mean, you might just need to work on the turnover if you want to, but that just might be your natural turnover. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'm still not someone, and maybe like a year from now, my tune will change, but I'm still not someone that's overly concerned about cadence. I feel like work on fitness, work on speed. The cadence will get there. I always like feel like cadence doesn't really dictate those other things. The other things dictate cadence. So I feel like don't worry about the cadence. That's normally my advice. I know a lot of coaches think otherwise, but I don't know. Christian says, do you think we get the RC Elite back in stock? It's the only shoe I still can't get. I don't know. I haven't really been following up on the inventory of the RC Elite, but I didn't know that. I'm still trying to get the Adios Pro. And when I am on Instagram, I do see that like I get ads from Running Warehouse, and it'll show like the Adios Pro. So I'm like always excited. So I click on it, and invariably you open it up, and it's only like size 4 is the only size that's available. So it's always kind of like it's an emotional roller coaster a little bit. So yeah, but I don't know. I haven't seen like a ton of people running in the RC Elite, which is a shame because it's a really fun shoe. But I wonder if it's just kind of like a selection. Maybe it's just the people that I follow on Instagram or on Twitter aren't New Balance people. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to take the RC Elite out this weekend. See how they do. Ooh, M Tang just got some Adios Pro yesterday. I'm envious. Cool. And Fawad 138 said bought the RC Elite last week from Running Warehouse. Okay, so maybe there will be some more that comes out. Yeah, and here's a good point. Shannon says, I disagree about cadence, Co. I think over time, less cadence leads to injury. Oh, do you think it's because people are overstriding and then like you're not hitting flat, you're hitting on your like heels as you run? I could see that. But do you think the solution to that is like, oh, let's make sure we keep the cadence up? Or what do you think that is? I mean, I guess if you want to keep your cadence up, the thing that I would say is chop up the stride. So just make sure you're putting your foot right down instead of like reaching out with your foot. Just put up and down, up and down, up and down. And that'll shorten up your stride, and that should lead to faster cadence. But I guess that's a better answer to that person's original question. But that's interesting, Shannon. I'll have to think about that again. Christian says that Adios Pro is really great. Oh. Christian, what size are you? I'll trade you my RC Elites for your Adios Pro. If you want to trade, we can borrow for a little while. It doesn't have to be a permanent trade, you know. David Liston said, I'm very excited. Ordering the Vaporflies tomorrow for 180 pounds off of Nike. Can't wait. Awesome. Cool. Very nice. All right. Blixton says, how resilient is Peeba and Peebacks really? I know Ed Bud and Tim Gross did some bids on Vaporfly Next durability. I think it's really resilient. I think it's a great foam. I think it lasts a long time. But I suppose it would depend on, I mean, it's a mileage may vary situation for a lot of people. But on the other hand, you've got certain foams like ZoomX that, you know, I would say like in the Vaporfly, it does not last 300 miles like a daily trainer would. So there's that. So, I mean, I guess for resilience, do you mean like resilience within the foot strike? Like in terms of energy return, or do you mean durability? I think in terms of in the foot strike, I think it's highly efficient in terms of the impacts that go in get sent back out, which is what, if you can make it soft and it's still doing that, which I think is what makes it amazing. But it doesn't last forever. But that Power Run PB material, I always thought that was going to last a really long time. And that Power Run PB foam that Saucony makes that puts in the Endorphin Pro and then the Speed, that is a castor bean oil extraction. So the same process that they use in the Reebok Float Ride Grow, that sustainable process, I believe is the same process or similar process that they're using. I don't know if it's the same identical, but it's the same source product, like the castor bean, that they use in those materials too. So I wonder if it's sustainable, or maybe the way that they have to make it makes it not sustainable, but I don't know. I picked up that fact watching when Connor, a Running Warehouse, went over to Boston to the Saucony factory. He talked to like the head of product development or head engineer or something like that. And they're talking about, yeah, we make it from this castor bean and it's oil, and then we use that oil to make this foam. And I was like, wait, that's how you make the Reebok Float Ride Grow. So I don't know. But yeah, I don't have data to say whether it's resilient or not, but I feel like it's a great material. I like it. All right. Let's see. Paul says he put 100 miles in the RC Elite and think it's a great training shoe. Can do long runs, intervals, and snug and slightly firmer TC. Yeah. But you know what else though? I've been also just really liking the Fuel Cell TC. The more I run in it, the more I seem to like it. It's weird. I don't understand why. Because the shoe is not changing, but maybe after having just tried so many other ones, I don't know. But I'm really liking the TC. The weight is bothering me less and less every time I run in it. And I do think I need to put some more miles in the RC Elite. So I think that settles it. This weekend, Saturday, we can put some RC Elite in there. Christian says his size is US 8. I'm a US 9, so I don't know if that'll work. Inna says, changing your foot strike is so difficult. When you think you're doing one thing, it's quite possible you're not quite there yet. Filming your running tells you a lot. That's true. Filming your running does tell you a lot. But yeah, I do think changing foot strike is difficult. And the other thing that I worry about when people do that or are thinking about doing that is that it could also lead to injury, because then you're loading your system in a way that's different than what you've been doing. And so like aerobically, you might still be really fit, but if your body is taking the impact of the road suddenly differently, there could be other implications there too. So it's something to keep in mind. All right. Tom Anderson's here, says, hey, Pac, joining late today from the UK. What's going on, Tom? Glad to have you here. Better late than never, for sure. All right. Cody says, I just bought some Endorphin Speeds for my spring races. Can't wait to try them. It is an exciting shoe, and I really love it. Danny J says, SJD once suggested that having someone record you at the 18-plus mile mark during a marathon to see what form looks like when tired. And it's hard. It's a harder one to do because you don't always. Most people don't get to 18 plus miles regularly, especially in a race situation. So that's an interesting one. Tom Anderson says, "Hey Mike, just wondering if you had an update on how the OH1 HR strap is holding up." Yeah, the strap is still fine. I still use it. It's over there because it's charging today. I'm using it daily right now. I prefer using it in the winter over a chest strap because the chest strap for me doesn't always give me a good signal in the winter when it's cold and I'm not like dripping with sweat. So I like to go with the arm strap. I do find that I feel like I'm constantly like cinching it back, not constantly, but like periodically I will make it a little bit tighter. I don't know if it's because over time it's losing some of its like elasticity, or I just maybe with running and the vibration of everything that it's like slowly loosening, or I don't know what it is. But I've been doing that. And on the 10K time trial that I just did last weekend, I was fidgeting with it a lot. It was really distracting. I also had my Whoop strap, and my Whoop strap I've been putting like up here or as high as I can get it. And because I was holding the cameras, the weight of the camera and running hard, like everything that was like up on my arm, like started sliding down. So at one point in the run, like my OH1 strap slid down like towards my wrist, and then the Whoop strap was also down towards my wrist. And I was like running and like sliding everything back up. And I had long sleeves on, so I was kind of like guessing and making sure the sensors were still facing the right way. So that was a little bit annoying. It took about 15, 20 seconds to do that, which is not a long time, but annoying. Although at the time, I was very happy to have a diversion because I was I physically thought I was dying. Mentally, I thought I was dying. Physically, I probably wasn't, but mentally, I was. So it was good to have the diversion. But other than that, I don't have any problems with it. I feel like the heart rate reading that it's giving me is spot on. I think it was a little high for the 10K, but I think because of the fact that it was moving around a little bit on me. But it's still my go-to. It's my favorite one to use. All right. Let's see. Ryan Polly says, "Do you all wash your HR chest straps? I rinse mine with water, but probably should use soap. Every once in a while, I will, like in the summertime, I'll wring it out and let it dry in a way where it's not like, so it can actually like air dry properly, kind of like hanging it on some sort of rod or hook or leaving it up somewhere. And then periodically I will get in there. I won't like dunk it in water, but I'll like get some soap, like the hand soap, that's on the side of the sink. I'll just put some on there and then like just lather up the elastic parts, trying to stay clear from fully like submerging any of the leads or like the electronic part. But the elastic part, I will kind of give it a scrub like once 2 weeks or something like that. Yeah. Blaz Grabner said, "I will try to do what Ben Johnson did. Get an elastic Velcro band for my 935 so I can put it higher on my forearm." Yeah, I mean, I really wish you would just start an Etsy shop where he sold those selfishly. I know that'd probably be a waste of his time, but I would love to have that. I want that. But I will say that like for the OH1, it fits really well within like a nook. And let me try to pull up my sleeve a little bit. So like there's a little nook right here where I feel like the OH1 is really small and it fits right in there and I can get it really tight. On my Whoop strap, the Whoop strap only comes to like here. Here we go. This is the best way to show this. It only comes to like up here on my forearm, and here is not a great spot like physiologically for me. It still slides around a lot. And so like I wish the Whoop strap were like an inch longer so I could move it up to this spot, because right here seems fine. But here seems prone to moving. I think Ben normally wears his like somewhere in the middle of those two spots. His is normally like right around here from the photos, it looks like. So, I mean, I think that would probably work for me, but I'd be a little bit concerned about it, but I would gladly spend the money if someone were to make that to test it out. But yeah, I don't know why Garmin doesn't sell that, or why just some other brand. Like, why isn't there like, there's a knockoff for everything that you can get on Amazon, right? Why isn't someone making that? I don't know. Yeah. Martha says the thing is, going back to like the foot strike and the cadence thing, is you can do more harm than good by artificially changing your natural stride if you don't know what you're doing. That's certainly true. Very true. Yeah. Danny J says, for example, I land extremely supinated and beginning to believe it has something to do with lateral quad weakness. Just an idea. Yeah. So, I mean, like if you made the lateral quad stronger, would you still have that? You know, and then if you were able to fix that, then, you know, it could correct a lot of things potentially. So, you know, I think you're on the right track. All right. Let's see. Brian Nee asking, is CoinX a chatbot? I don't know. CoinX, that sounds like a chatbot to me. I don't know. I have a feature that I can put people in timeout, so I did that. Sorry, I didn't keep track of that close enough. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So let's see back here. Hanson 2705 says, damn, greet from Indonesia. It's 4 a.m. here. Great contents. Awesome. Well, either you're up late or you're up early. Good work either way. I'm glad to see you here. Thanks for joining us. Oh, okay. Blast Gardner says, AliExpress has the replicas of what he got for the Pace 2. Did he do it for his Pace as well? Oh, interesting. I don't think that I've bought anything ever on AliExpress. I'm trying to think. I may have for work for some of the things that I needed to pick up, but I don't think I've ever done that for anything for like personally. Interesting. Xavier Vermeulen says, how much does an HR chest strap change your training for amateurs compared to a watch with HR? I think the answer is it depends. Some people can get a really solid reading from the wrist just fine, even when they're running. For me, it doesn't work. It might be decent for like 20 minutes. And then after that, I don't know if it's because I'm sweating or then finally after a while, it just jostles itself loose enough, but I get a terrible reading. And so the kinds of readings that I would get would be like, you know, easy run, average heart rate, 175. And yes, my average run was probably a little bit high, probably closer to 155 or 160, but 175, like 180 would like routinely come up. I ran, I think when I ran a marathon with just the wrist base heart rate, I think it said that like my heart rate was 198 beats per minute for the last 5 miles, which I pretty much impossible for me. I think it's impossible for a lot of people. So it changed a lot for me. Not only just having the HR data, but also then for number one, that gave me good HR data, but also like, you know, it's not going to change anything if you're not paying more attention to the heart rate and using that data as well. And I feel like it did help me kind of like figure out what is an easy day, what do I think is an easy day, and what actually is an easy day were kind of two different things for me for a while. So yeah, so I think that like it, I think it can help out a lot if you're interested in using that heart rate data. Some people don't care. So for the people that don't care, it's not going to make any difference. All right. David Lidstone asking, Kofuzi, what's the weekly mileage? Right now I'm in like the 40s. So really low. I like to be in the 60s or 70s. Because number one, I like to see that number. I've talked about that a lot, where I kind of get obsessed with the weekly mileage number. But I also feel like that means that I've been getting out there for a certain amount of time every day for the course of the week, which usually correlates to me like just being happy. It's kind of like a, like a working dog. A working dog needs to get out there and do a certain amount of work. Otherwise, the dog gets into mischief or just isn't quite himself. So that's kind of how I am about it. I like to be able to get out there a certain amount of time. Yeah, Ed Chan says, someone should invent a shoe or accessory that detects whether you heel, midfoot, or forefoot strike. I have no idea what I am. There is something like that. I've got one of those. I've been testing one. It's called the Nerve. Well, there's lots of things that do that. But the one I have is called Nerve, NURVV. And it's an interesting product. I don't necessarily recommend it for most people right now, but at least with the way that this product is designed. But it tells you, and it gives you a reading after the fact on your run of like what percentage of your running, and it could give you a breakdown mile by mile, what percentage of running were you heel striking, forefoot striking, and midfoot striking. So like that, those things exist. And if you run with it on a treadmill, you could see it in real time what the sensors are detecting underfoot. I haven't done that treadmill mode yet, but maybe that's something I'll do next week. That's a good reminder. Thanks, Ed. Ben Y says, I'm waiting for the OH1 to get to me. Do you think I can clip it to my shorts waistband and get a reading from my hip? Wouldn't need to faff around with an armband. I think so. Because I remember talking to someone at Polar, and they were like, it just needs to be shoved somewhere in the meat. Because I was like, how can like this thing, like the instructions on the OH1 say, put it on your bicep or on your forearm? I'm like, shouldn't it be more specific than that? Like, why can't I get the same heart rate reading from any of those places? And he was just like, you could put it anywhere as long as it was there securely and then there was no light bleed. So we just want you to get it somewhere where there's some meat. And so it's like in the forearm is great, in the bicep is great because it closes it off from the light. And so because it uses light on the wrist for me when it's jostling around, it's, some people say it's detecting your cadence, which is kind of true, but it's not really detecting cadence. It's just when the light is being perceived by the sensor differently because this thing is moving around, it interferes with the signal that it's like its readings. And so I think you could do it on your waistband as long as it would be able to stay there securely. So that's an interesting thing. I don't have the OH1 Plus has the goggle clip, so you could probably use the goggle clip and try that. I don't have mine anymore. I don't know where mine is. I don't know if I threw it away or if it's just in Chicago. But that'd be an interesting experiment to see if you could do that. All right, let's get to a couple more and then I got to get going. Cal White says, hey, Mike, do you have a favorite workout that you regularly put into a 10K/half marathon training plan? Looking to add some new workouts for 2021, so would love your input. I've never written a 10K or a half marathon training plan. So I don't have a lot of experience with it. I just finished a 10K, an abbreviated 10K training plan with Stride. And my favorite ones that they would put in there for me would be like 10 or 15 minutes warm up and then like 5 or 6 times like 3 minutes or even 4 minutes at for them it was like above threshold pace and closer to mile pace. So pretty fast. I felt like that was too hard, but I like long threshold intervals. So that kind of would be how I would tweak that. If I were training for a half marathon, I would probably have a lot of threshold work because threshold pace is going to be faster than your half marathon pace. But then you're doing it for a long periods of time. It's really going to work on your body's ability to clear lactate and get really efficient at that. And get you running fast, So that's what I would do. I would look for workouts where you're doing, and you can adjust it depending on how early or late you're in kind of like the training plan. Like right now, like this week, Tuesday, I did like 2 by 5 minutes at threshold or below threshold. So that's an intro. And then on Saturday, I'll probably do one that's like 3 by 5 minutes or maybe 4 by 5 minutes at about the same, right? But like if I were getting closer to like half marathon time, what I would probably want to be able to do is have a total of up to maybe 30 minutes of threshold work. So maybe that's 3 times 10 or 2 times 15, but I would want longer intervals of that in a much longer run as well, where the rest of the time you're running easy, but maybe something like an hour and a half run with 30 minutes of work inside there. So that's kind of what I would want to see in like a half marathon plan. Let's see. What else we got down here? All right. Okay. Well, I think that's probably a good place to leave it for today. Oh wait, we got Matt Legrand coming. What's going on, Matt? Helping out with the OH1 Plus. You can use the clip on the goggle and takes HR from the temple, which is actually a really good place to take HR. But I think that's like, yeah, but most runners aren't going to put it there, right? So like that's the thing. I think what we're trying to do, Matt, is can we use that same clip and put it elsewhere? So I think that would be a pretty interesting way of using that. But I don't know. I don't remember what that clip attachment exactly looks like to see how feasible that's going to be. I think it would work. I think it would work to put it like on your shorts. My only concern would be that like with it being on your pants band is like the stretching of the band as you're like moving. Is there a lot of that, number one? And if there is that going to affect like the secureness of that sensor? So that's the only thing. But I think it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to try out to see if you could put it on like your hip. Yeah. All right. I'm going to leave it there today, guys, because I got to go to a virtual parent-teacher conference. These are interesting because my kid goes to them too. And then I think there's like part of it is like my daughter's supposed to be there. Me and my wife and my daughter are all going to be there. And then there's a part where my daughter's supposed to leave. And it's just the two of us. So it'll be interesting. We've done it once, I think, before already this way. And it's pretty nice. I also feel like it's a much more efficient use of everyone's time, the teachers, the parents. So I really like it. So I've been enjoying it. So hopefully this is something that can continue even after things go back to normal, or hopefully they'll go back to normal, but we'll see. All right. Tomorrow's video is going to be, hopefully, we'll see. I'm going to try and get it out tomorrow. The winter running essentials video, that'll be tomorrow. And then in the afternoon, it's Thursday, so it's happy hour. So I'm not sure if I'm going to have an alcoholic beverage or not. I've ordered a couple of things. Some things are supposed to be coming in. So if they came in, happy hour will feature some of those, whichever ones come in. If it doesn't, then I'll be drinking a Miller Lite. So one way or the other, it'll be fun. So hopefully you guys will join me then. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Be safe out there.